Most people will tell you that cutting people off leads to loneliness, that if you push others away, you'll become isolated, empty, disconnected. But it doesn't always feel that way, does it? Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it feels like peace. And that confuses you. You thought you would regret it. You thought you would miss them more than this. But instead, your chest feels lighter. Your mind feels calmer. And for the first time in a long while, you can hear your own thoughts again. Then you start to wonder, what does that say about me? Am I cold? Is something wrong with me? But what if the answer is simpler than that? What if this isn't disconnection, but protection? Because when you cut someone off, it's rarely random. It usually comes after repeated patterns. Small acts of disrespect, emotional exhaustion, conversations that drain you instead of making you feel understood. Your nervous system recognizes these patterns before your mind fully does. Your heart rate shifts when you see their name on your phone. Your shoulders tense before you even read the message. You feel a subtle resistance you can't quite explain. This isn't you being too sensitive. This is your body doing exactly what it's meant to do: protect you. Not because the other person is necessarily bad, but because something in the relationship no longer feels safe. And safety isn't just about avoiding obvious harm. It's about how your body feels around someone. Do you feel seen or judged? Calm or tense? Free or like you have to perform? So when you create distance, your body exhales. That's the first reason it feels like peace. Not because you don't care, but because you're no longer living in a constant state of defense. And this is where things go a little deeper. There's a concept in psychology called emotional cutoff. At first, it sounds negative, like avoidance, like shutting people out. But in many cases, it's not weakness, it's an adaptive response. When closeness becomes overwhelming, when relationships feel unpredictable, when you constantly have to carry emotions that aren't even yours, withdrawing can be the only way your system knows how to regulate itself. Especially if, in the past, you learned that love wasn't stable. Sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes warm, sometimes cold. Sometimes close, sometimes distant. In that case, distance no longer feels like loss. It feels like control. It feels like relief. That's the second reason. Because sometimes what you're feeling isn't loneliness, but the absence of emotional chaos. And those are two very different things. Loneliness is an emptiness that hurts. Being alone is a space that lets you breathe again. No pressure to respond. No need to explain yourself. No walking on emotional eggshells. Just quiet. And then, in that quiet, something unexpected happens. You start hearing yourself again. Not the version of you that's always trying to please others, not the version that tolerates too much, but the real version of you. You begin to notice what you actually like, what you actually believe, what you actually feel, without someone else defining it for you. That's the third reason it feels like peace. Because you're reconnecting, not with others, but with yourself. And that kind of connection feels strangely familiar, like coming home after being away for a very long time. But there's something important that people rarely talk about. Not all distance is the same. There's a difference between boundaries and walls. Boundaries say, I choose what I allow into my life. Walls say, no one gets close anymore. One helps you live lighter. The other slowly numbs you. So what matters isn't just that you walked away, but how you feel after you did. Do you feel clearer or emptier? More energized or slowly drained? Because healthy boundaries don't block connection, they filter it. Fewer people, but the right ones. Less noise, but more truth. And maybe this is what you need to hear the most. You're not broken. You're not cold. You're not too much. You're just starting to become selective. Your brain is always trying to minimize threat and maximize safety. So when you walk away from what overwhelms you, you're not failing at relationships. You're learning. And learning often looks like distance before it looks like connection. So if cutting someone off brings you peace, maybe that peace isn't something to feel guilty about. Maybe it's something to listen to. Because sometimes, the quiet you're experiencing isn't emptiness, it's healing. And maybe you're not losing other people, you're finding yourself again. If you're still here listening, and a part of you feels understood, and if you want to hold on to this feeling, this calm, this clarity, this sense of being with yourself, please hit the subscribe button. So whenever you need a little quiet in the middle of all the noise, you'll always have a friend, me, right here with you.